on it, but we're glad you're here because we do have some very, very exciting information for you. On the first slide, I want to just kind of introduce and set up the night for us on the webinar on the first slide, Garth. And we're waiting for, there we are. Okay. Money follows vision. Money never starts an idea, but money will follow an idea. I don't know who said that, but it's very, very true. And that's really how Trivita started. We began with Michael's idea of forming a company that would improve physical, emotional, spiritual, financial well-being. Then we promoted the 10 essentials. And then as business goes, you have changes. And Trivita went through a business model change due to regulations. And it's going to be bigger and better than ever. And, Apple went through this, folks, and look what happened to them. And they came out stronger than ever. Sears in Canada, for our American friends, just went bankrupt, and there are no more Sears stores in Canada. Why? Because they did not adjust to the new marketplace. It's interesting today, too, I heard a doctor on a health video from California saying the two most important supplements one should take is a B12 and a vitamin D. Well, we've got them both, don't we? And as we go into the program tonight on the power of this dynamite new product, Myo Health, got some great information for you. I also want you to know, as you have read from Michael's excellent letters and so forth, emails, that Nopalea is undergoing some new clinical testing and will be revealed next year sometime with Dr. Sheeler, Mayo Clinic doctor. Doesn't get much better than that. And then also the new brain product that's coming November 29th. Michael said it was a outstanding symposium. So we've got a lot to look forward to. What I want to do before I introduce our first guest is I just talk a bit about the Field Advisory Council. Many of you probably are not aware of this, and their names are shown, Garth, on the next slide. There we are. Brian Worth, Tom Drexler, Blaine Okers, Garth Borthas, and Mike Reed-Miller. These men have spent hours and hours and hours working with the company, with Marcus and Michael particularly. There's total unity. The board will have their private meetings and come up with concepts, and they discuss with the company and vice versa, and it's working very well. So I want you all to understand that these 5 people on the advisory board have worked very, very hard working with the company, and a lot of what you're going to hear tonight is a result of ideas and back and forth and concepts and so forth. And as usual, anything you hear tonight, we make the disclaimer. We don't claim anything on our products, neither do we on our earnings. But having said that, I'd like to introduce Brian Worth. I call him the chairman of the Field Advisory Board. I don't think that's Brian's official title, but Brian and I have formed a very close relationship. We talk probably daily or every second day on the phone with ideas. And Brian, along with the rest of the board, has just done an incredible job, in my opinion, in helping the company and the company with Michael and Marcus and putting together what you're going to hear tonight. So I want to give, to edify the Field Advisory Board so that you know who they are. I don't think an email to them from you expressing your thanks would hurt, as it would also to Michael and Marcus. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Presidential Director Brian Worth. Brian, take it away.
Thank you so much, Barry. Thank you for that introduction, those kind words. And I, too, am grateful for the rest of the members that you talked about that I have the privilege and the honor of serving with on the Field Advisory Council. We formed that council. It was formed back, I believe, in April. And over the past several months, we've grown together as a team, and we're all committed to the same thing, and that's to the success of Trivita and to the success of everybody that's on this webinar tonight. So again, thank you, Barry, for putting this together and for those kind words. Well, one of my favorite motivational speakers and success coaches, Tony Robbins, says, "Long ago I realized that success leaves clues and that people who do produce outstanding results do those specific things to create those results. But for the purpose of tonight, I want to focus on 3 words out of that quote, and that is success leaves clues. When we look back at and look at all of the success stories of so many of the ITBOs that have done an incredible job and have great businesses and continue to receive income from their Trivita businesses, there's a common denominator in virtually every single case of every successful ITBO that I know. We all have one thing in common, and that is the co-op advertising and marketing system is what built our businesses. So with that being said, tonight's webinar, we are going to be entirely focused on building your business and increasing your income by participating in the co-op program. Now, let me say this. The mission of Trivita of helping people experience wellness has not changed, nor will it ever change. In fact, the commitment to this mission has never been stronger. But the co-op program simply allows us to fulfill that mission on a much larger scale. And at the same time, it helps all of us to build wealth along with our wellness experience. We can build wealth to fulfill our life purposes. Now, in the email that I sent out promoting tonight's webinar, I made a statement. I said, if you've been waiting for co-op to build your business, your wait is over. And I can tell you with absolute certainty, after many conversations with our CEO, Michael Ellison, and a rather lengthy conversation just today, I can make that statement with absolute certainty. The co-op program is back and it's in full swing. Now, I know that the co-op program to this point in time, for a lot of us and for a lot of everyone out there, the ITBOs, has been a way for everyone to qualify to receive commission checks by purchasing 1 media contact per month. But you're going to hear some things tonight about the show and the results that this show is delivering. Now that we have this show hosted by James Robison, it's producing massive results. And evidence of that is the cost has come down to $95. That's evidence right there. This program, this message is working. So the time is right now for all of us who have a desire to grow our business, to scale it up by buying more contacts. And this gives Trivita the ability to scale up the media buys going forward. I think we'd all agree with this. The co-op advertising and marketing system with Trivita is our future. There is no question about that. So tonight you're going to hear from 2 other top leaders in Trivita, as well as our Senior Director of Contact Center Services, Donita Dykstra. You're going to hear about 3 exciting ways that you can participate in the co-op program to grow your business very quickly in 2018. And 2018, folks, is just around the corner. So we have a lot of exciting information to share with you on tonight's call. It is going to take a little bit more time. We ask you to stay with us to the very end. We're going to do our best to get through it as quickly as we can, but there's a lot of information to cover. So with that in mind, let's get the ball rolling. Garth Borthistle is a top leader in Trivita, as many of you know, a member of the Field Advisory Council, someone who I have tremendous respect for, and just a great guy and a great friend of mine. And he put a lot of time and effort into the slide presentation. Yes, he's a lot more gifted in that area than I am. That's not one of my strong suits. And Barry, I don't think it's yours either. Would you agree with that?
Oh, totally. You and I could not do this if we were paid $1 million each. Brian, forget it.
Exactly. So without any further delay, let's, Garth, I want to pass this over to you. And, we've got a lot of exciting things to share with everybody tonight. Just take it away, and maybe you can give everybody a glimpse of, kind of the format of what they're going to learn about on tonight's call. And then we'll just roll up our sleeves and get down to the details.
That's great. Thank you, Brian. And I appreciate all those kind words. I really like what you said about success leaves clues. And that really is a key theme that's going to work through that. And then also, as you said, there's three parts we're going to talk about: the double down, the business accelerator pack, and the executive builder program. Each one of these in itself is quite exciting. And we're going to dig into the ins and outs of each one of these aspects. I guess one of the things about your statement about success leaving clues is I just wanted to make sure that, you know, in case someone's new on the phone, what we're talking about co-op and about media is a very successful show hosted by James Robinson, as you said. If you want to see the show or email it out to someone in its entirety, you go to your back office and you can email it out or you can watch it online. And of course, as always, you can see the frequency of which the show is being aired across the country. And that's there. And I guess one of the other signs of success leaving clues is, I hope people have noticed this, for those that have an existing database of customers and names, you should see an upswing or have seen an upswing or experienced an upswing in first sale bonuses. And I just
am I ever? Whoa.
And I just want to give a thank you to Michael and to the company for this. What's happening, and Danita will go into it, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But as former or current members are seeing this show, they're ordering this product, and of course the credit goes into their existing member accounts, and it's being paid out as a first sale bonus. So if you want hands-on evidence that this show is that is producing, that's another telltale sign of all of that. So I just wanted to mention that. So let's dig into this. Let's talk about the three ways to build. The first one is about doubling down, about increasing our frequency and participation in that. And to talk about that and talk about the show in general and the results that are going, we're very happy to have Danita Dykstra, our amazing Senior Director of Contact Center Services. So Danita would see things not just from a number standpoint, but from a real life, talking to customers, having her team talk to members, new and old, about what's going on. So Danita has tabulated quite an impressive amount of stats and information to help paint a picture about why increasing our co-op media buys, called Doubling Down, is well worth it. So Danita, first of all, welcome to the call, and I'm just going to turn it over to you, and I will keep up with you on the slides. So welcome, Danita.
Thank you so much, Garth. And you know, it's an honor for me to be invited on your webinar tonight. And I was just really excited to share these stats. It's always fun to share really good news. But Garth, you can go ahead and advance to my first slide.
It's coming. Sorry, the technology is a little slow here today.
That is okay.
There we go.
So, Garth, you already said this, but the single most important thing you can do to see your compensation increase in January is working together to fuel Mile Health Media. Now, you know, our focus in CARE and TBS is we want to fly in January. And so we have a goal. We want 3,000 new customers in January. And what do? We fill our business with co-op. So let's talk a little bit about October. Business was big in October. I mean, a lot of you probably found out how big it was when you tried to call in and you were stuck in queue. We were real busy, but the one thing we noticed is that checks went up, new customer acquisition increased, old customer reactivation increased, and it came down to why. The why is because Trivita quadrupled media airing in October. Now, I don't know if you read the last two emails from Michael Ellison. If you didn't, go to your back office, read them as soon as you can. They were specifically dated on October 31st and November 30th. But these emails reveal the success of MyoHealth Media. And October was an incredible liftoff month, but now it's time to fly. So what we're doing is we're asking all ITBOs to double their co-op reservation or more if you can. And if you don't have a reservation, we'd like you to set one up. And it's as simple as this. It's as simple as this. Do you want your checks to increase? Well, field participation in co-op is going to drive checks higher. Now, this is an organizational expansion effort that drives our revenue opportunity together. So once again, the single most important thing you can do to see your compensation increase in January is working together to fuel MyoHealth Media. Go ahead and stay on this slide and let me go over these stats real quick. Compensation checks rose across the board by 26% in October. Now that's a significant lift, and I know you might think, oh, well, it's a B12 month. Yeah, it was a B12 month, but just a minute. It's because Trivita quadrupled the MyoHealth Media in October. And here's why I think that. Of those responding to the MyoHealth program that's hosted by James and Betty Robison, 60% are new customers. 30% are reactivated customers. Those are customers that have maybe been sitting in your group list that haven't ordered in years. 10% are current customers that have been ordering in the last year. Now, I don't know if a lot of you remember James and Betty Robison, but they're responsible for helping Trivita bring in over 2 million new customers back when we first introduced B12 into the market through media. Now, I know for sure that some of the gentlemen on the call tonight remember that. Barry, he was around. Brian, you know this because you participated in that. And that's one of the things, like Brian said, that drove your business to a successful point, was your participation in that media. So what we're seeing in care, what I see every day when I look at reports, is that the MyoHealth program is sparking other activity. And what I mean by that is we have members to new member gift of wellness increasing by 50% in October. Now that's a full product price purchase that one existing member who's very excited about the product is sending to someone else that they feel would benefit. Maybe their grandmothers, aunts, uncles, siblings, friends, but we're seeing it happen over and over and over again. And enrollment in ARP, our auto delivery program increased by a whopping 250% in October. That is not a typo.
Wow.
People are experiencing the benefits of MyoHealth and sharing with their neighbors, coworkers, friends, and family. And as you know, if you've taken the product, you'll know why. So Garth, go ahead and advance to my last slide there.
Coming right up.
And I know that, you know, a lot of people probably remember this, and we'll go over it probably a little more tonight, but MyoHealth Co-op customers pay out a 50% first sale bonus on the first 2 reorders made by the new co-op customer, beginning on the date that they're put into your group list, your organization. And what's even better to me is there's no time limit here. If it takes them 6 months to place 2 new orders, you still get the first sale bonus on those. The 50% bonus, and I should bring this up. 40% of that bonus is to the co-op purchaser, and 10% is a team builder bonus. Now, like I said, our goal is 3,000 new customers. Right now, we have 430 reservations from our field for January. So we need a tremendous amount of participation to get to 3,000 new names. Like Brian said, we've been able, because the show is so successful and these names have such a high spin value, we are able to lower the price per contact name to $95 per contact. There has never been a better time to fuel your business. Shoot for January, at least double your co-op reservation for January. If you don't have a co-op reservation, please set one up. You can go into your back office and you can set up a co-op reservation. You can increase it, or you can call TBS. But my main question to you, and what you're going to hear every time you call into TBS, is how many contacts will you take? That's what we're going to be asking you every time you call in. And I'll tell you what, if you call into TBS and you say, hey, I heard Brian and Barry's webinar and I want to increase my co-op reservation, they're going to give you $10 worth of Vita points towards your next product purchase. So we're ready for growth. TBS is ready. They've started an outbound campaign. They're going to be calling you if you've got a reservation. Help us fuel this growth, and let's fly in January. Arth?
Wow, Danita, there's some, you know, I'm going to go back to Brian's comment, or the Tony Robbins comment about success leaves clues. We've all been around long enough to know that there's, in all the numbers that you shared, that one thing about 250% increase in auto delivery enrollment, that's incredible. I mean, that's really unheard of, isn't it?
It is unheard of. I've never seen a number like that.
So that's,
and you know, Danita, this is the first time I've ever seen a price decrease in media. It's always been an increase, correct?
Correct, usually, yes.
Yeah. Great.
That's good. Okay, well, we were picking Danita's brain before the call because we want to learn how all this works. But these numbers are incredible. The support is there. The outbound calling is there. Danita, thank you very much from the field, on behalf of the field, for all the work and for supporting this. We are your biggest fan. So thanks for coming on today.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
You bet. We want to move into the second way to build your business with the Business Accelerator Pack. And I know this email came out yesterday or a couple days earlier this week on what that is. And I think we probably spent more hours on the advisory council talking about this than anything else. Brian, I'm going to have you come back on and maybe we can kind of talk about this together. You're excited about this pack, I know. Is that a true statement?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Garth, you know, as you well know, as a part of the Field Advisory Council, we spent a lot of time brainstorming, you know, what is the way that we can empower, you know, the ITBOs out there to really accelerate the growth of their business. And we spent a lot of time on the, you know, with our calls with Michael Ellison, and in turn, he working with the staff. And so this didn't, you know, this didn't come about just, okay, we threw out an idea and then, you know, the next week, here it is. I mean, there was lots and lots of conversation, of input, back and forth with us, with corporate, to really come up with a, you know, I call it a business in a box. I mean, when you look at this, and I know that's a term that people have used in the past, but when you look at the Business Accelerator Pack, and as you're bringing on these bullet points of what it has to offer, it's incredible. And here's the really exciting part. You know, Garth, as you recall, when we first started talking about this, it had all the components that you're putting on the screen right now, but down under the area where it has co-op media contacts, originally that number was 12. But because of the success of the program, success of the TV program, and specifically with the James and Betty Robinson program, and by the way, as a side note, Donita, I do remember that so well. I remember back in the day when Tammy and I first got started with TriVita, and we're watching television and we see this TV program come on with James Robinson talking about sublingual B12. I must have watched that television program 100 times. It was like every time I saw it, I got so excited because it was like the first time I watched it. And when I watched it with the MyoHealth program, and you know, obviously technology has changed and all the things that I mean, just the program itself, I can't watch that program enough. It's absolutely amazing, and it's interesting. He was the guy that helped drive us to, I think he said, Donita, 2 million customers back with the B12. He's leading the charge again with MyoHealth. But back on the Business Accelerator Pack, yeah, it went from 12 co-op media contacts, Garth, as you recall, to 14 because the price has come down. But look at everything that this pack has to offer. I mean, it literally has everything that a person needs. It's almost like and I know we can't call it this, so I'll put out the disclaimer. We're not a franchise. but it's like a mini franchise. You have everything you could possibly want in one pack to start and accelerate the growth of your business. And the value that people are getting out of this pack is incredible. And I know, obviously it's going to pay out. It's generating volume as well with 320 RV. It's going to pay out first sale bonuses. But it's just going to be an incredible way for us to move our businesses forward. And I'm extremely excited about it. In fact, this will be I believe the bread and butter or the cornerstone in 2018 as we begin recruiting again and bringing new people into TriVita as well as existing people. I plan on buying the pack myself, but this will be the cornerstone of how we grow and help people build their businesses with TriVita. So I know you have, we can, if you want to go through individually, everybody can see on the screen the individual components of the pack. But I know, I believe you're going to bring on Tom specifically here in a moment or two to talk about how we're going to build a whole training system around this, everybody. You will be trained on exactly how to promote it, how to use everything that's in the accelerator pack. But I'm not going to steal Tom's thunder. I'll pass it back to you, Garth. So if we want to move forward and kind of give a little explanation on why the pack and why it makes so much sense.
Yeah, you bet. So thank you, Brian. Just a couple details on that. We're not going to go through each line. You can read it. First of all, when this email came out, we got Sherry Hodkins, one of our members. She wrote, "I can build with this. I've wanted something to build with," and I think she just encapsulated very well what this accelerator pack is meant to do. It's meant to build and it's meant to recruit. It's the starting point, and the value we get out of this is tremendous. Brian said, as you said, 320 RV. So if a current member or current ITBO buys this pack, that 320 will go into the unilevel. When a brand new person, a brand new enrolled ITBO buys it, that 320 will be paid in the first sale 40% and 10% bonus. So we wanted to point that out. As Brian said, right now it's 14 co-op. The idea is to keep the price point of this pack always the same. So $15.99 US, $19.19 Canadian. If media price goes down even more, the price of the pack will stay the same, but you will see values like 15 co-op, or if it happens to go the other way, 13 co-op. That will be the adjustment. So there's consistency in that. And just the 12 months back office access. I mean, that's $120 value right there. Plus the hassle, gets a new person not worrying about it in the first year, 90 days of compensation. So there's tons and tons of value there. So as Brian said, we want to bring in Tom, one of our fellow council members. Tom, welcome to the call. And Tom's going to share a little bit about, how to take advantage of this and how to build off of this. So Tom, welcome to the call and take it away.
All right. Thank you, Garth. Thank you, Brian and Barry, and Danita especially. I'm pacing all over the room right now as I'm standing here talking to you. I've been excited ever since MyoHealth came out, because if you had an opportunity to hear the interview I did with Michael Ellison, I had a great response to the product, and I immediately went out and started sharing it. And that's what I love about this Business Accelerator Pack, is having the opportunity to bring in customers or contacts that we get from the media to get an immediate start to your business. You know, what happens so often in other business ventures that may be similar to what we're involved with TriVita, there's companies that have great products, but a person comes in and they have to immediately go out and get customers. And that's difficult for a lot of people. So here they can start with 14 contacts that have ordered the product off of the television program and are being followed up with TriVita, but they also have the opportunity to experience the product right away. They're going to get 8 tubs, the MyoHealth Lemonade product, so they can go ahead and start on it day one themselves. And then by getting the books, the sharing tools, Dr. Wolf's books, The Building Blocks of Life, that is the best sharing tool I have ever seen. Now, I've been in Trivita now for 16 years, and I don't believe I have brought in personally brand new customers from going out and sharing a brochure or anything like that. I think I've been able to bring in more through his book, Dr. Wolf's book, in just a couple of months, more so than I did in 16 years combined of being in Trivita before. I've never seen such a reaction, not having to give them anything, just share the book, tell the story, and ideally tell your own story, but also tell the story of how the astronauts in space are losing muscle. And we'll train more on that. I'm not going to go into all that detail, but what I like to do is to give out the book. But another thing that I like about the fact of having the 8 tubs of the MyoHealth product is the person can use 2 of them for their own personal use. Then they have 6 to share with others. Now, don't give it to people. What I recommend and what I've been doing is to share the book, get the interest, get the person to take the 30-day strength challenge where they'll order the buy one, get one free. And when they do that, I tell them, I tell you what, so that you can go ahead and get started right away, I'll give you one out of my own personal inventory so you can start today. And I'll hand them a tub of the product, give them instructions on how to get the best results, and get them started right then. And then I tell them when your product comes in, you can just replace that. You can give it back to me. What I like about that is that gives me an opportunity to follow up with that person within a week. So when they meet back with me to give me that tub back, so I've given away nothing out of my own personal pocket. I'm not one who really wants to give somebody something as just a pure gift and hope that they're going to like the product. I want them to make a commitment, and when they do, I think they have more invested in it, and they have more skin in the game. They're more likely to follow through and get the results they want. So when I follow back up with them, that is a very exciting visit. They're already experiencing some benefits from it. We're able to talk about it. And what I have found is the people that I did that with have become very solid customers, very solid customers. Repeat orders many times. They're starting to, like Danita shared, I have one who has given the gift of wellness to his daughter, and he told me he's going to do it to his other daughter, and he has other friends that he wants to share it with because he and his wife are both having such great results with it. So it's having tools like the book, having the product, and we'll go into more detail in future training calls exactly how that looked. But I just think it's a win-win, and it's a tremendous situation where we can duplicate a successful pattern of building a business, and that is to have the customers coming from the media and going out and getting customers on our own through our own circle of influence, and duplicating that by getting other people to do the same thing. And it is a very repeatable, successful model that we've had put together here for us, and we just need to take advantage of it.
That's great. Well, I'm not proclaiming to be the smartest person in the world, but I think one of my skill sets is I do listen. So I've been listening to Tom, and I've been doing what he said, and all I can say is it works. I've had 2 in this last week and a half. I did that exact thing, Tom, about getting them going with one of my own supplies, reconnecting with them, and once they order, and replenishing it. And it's just such a natural connection, and it's just a perfect way to follow up. So I look forward to future training and ongoing development of this, because this is hugely impactful to all our businesses.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you. Well, we want to thank you, Tom. We want to respect everybody's time. We got one more to talk about, and go back again to that quote about success leaves clues. Well, if there's another clue, it's the Executive Builder Program, and the fact that it is being reintroduced shows again the strength of this. So this is a slide comes up. Brian, I'm going to have you come back on and talk just a little bit as we end this call on the Executive Builder Program.
All right, fantastic. And thank you, Tom. That was awesome, your explanation on how we're going to use the Business Accelerator Pack. Well, I'm extremely excited about the Executive Builders Program. You know, this is the third way that we're going to talk about tonight that you can participate in the co-op advertising, marketing, and marketing system. And I want to make this clear again. When I talk about this program, you notice I talk about the co-op advertising and marketing system because this really is a system. It's a system where we're in a co-op relationship with Trivita on the advertising side, but then on the back end, it's a complete marketing system. And I think it's critically important that when we're sharing this program with others out there, that we make that distinction, because this is truly the key differentiator on what we have to offer with Trivita in terms of building a business. As you see on the screen, this is absolutely a proven business model. Now, the Executive Builder Program is a program that is designed for those individuals that have the financial resources and the discretionary funds, and I'll say that again, the discretionary funds to start their business with a minimum of 100 media contacts or more. There's no limit, but the minimum is 100. Now, let me be very clear on this. This is not for the person, you know, that needs to borrow money or maybe do something crazy like take out a second mortgage on their home or anything like that to participate. This is not for them. You know, the vast majority of the people will want to start their businesses with the Business Accelerator Pack that you just heard about, and then add to their customer base each month by purchasing additional contacts and recruiting other ITBOs that are doing the same thing. But I can tell you this, as you move forward with your business, you are going to absolutely run into those people that have the financial ability and the desire to start their businesses by purchasing larger amounts of contacts. And you'll benefit personally and financially by enrolling those people in this program because of the 10% enrollers bonus. But again, the primary business activity will be the Accelerator Pack. Now, so let's go through, and you're starting to see some of the key bullet points on how the Executive Builder Program works. Again, it's a proven business model. I'm going to give you a couple of success stories here in just a couple of moments, but the minimum is 100 contact purchase. The person that buys these contacts is going to get look at this now, a 40% first sale bonus for a period of 12 months. Folks, that is unbelievable. I mean, that is such a value. And those people that want to put in the additional dollars are going to find this very attractive, that they're going to get that 40% commission on every order for 12 months. You know, if they purchase more than once monthly, they're going to keep getting that 40% commission, okay? It's unbelievable. Now, also for you, the person that enrolled this person that participates in the Executive Builder Program, you're going to get a 10% enroller bonus on all of those purchases that take place for 12 months. So, you know, in the past, I've heard people, well, you know, gosh, is this a program just for people who have a lot of money? No. The vast majority, again, are not going to participate on this, but the ones that do participate with this, you get to participate right along with them for helping them and introducing this program to them with this 10% enroller bonus. Also, it's going to include 12 months of back office access at absolutely no additional cost. Here's another big one. For the person that participates in the Executive Builder Program, all additional co-op purchases, all additional contacts that they buy from that point forward will also receive the 12-month period of time where they get that 40% bonus or 40% commission. And you as the enroller are going to also get that 10% first sale bonus as well. So wow. This program is going to be extremely attractive to those people that have the ability to participate. And here's the other benefit with it. And I'm going to get into a little more detail on the next slide when we bring that up. But here's the other benefit. This is not going to replace, every normal daily purchasing of business builder packs or impact that in any way, take away from it in any way. But it's also going to give Trivita the ability to continue to ramp up the media exposure and increase the frequency of the airings of the TV program, which, as you know from what you've heard earlier from Donita and Garth and others, is just going to continue to help your checks grow. So it's an incredible component to the program. Let's bring up the next and final slide, Garth. Perfect. Let's see, we got, okay, perfect. So on the screen, you're seeing two presidential directors, and I want to take this moment to acknowledge and express gratitude for these two individuals. This is Ted Lamb and Cody Ramsey. Many of you know who they are. They're presidential directors with Trivita. They've been with the company for, they came in shortly after Tammy and I got involved back in 2001. In 2004, Trivita launched a similar program. It was also called the Executive Business Builder Program. Did not have near of the power and the 40% first sale bonuses set up like we do have today. But these two guys, along with another team, just did tremendous with this program. In fact, what you're looking at is the front page of a Trivita publication that we had back then called the Reciprocity Report. And it was one of the most popular promotional pieces of all time with Trivita. But they featured their story on how two very, very successful business people were taking the Trivita co-op program and really building successful businesses with it. Well, in the month of October, Ted Lamb and his team stepped up in a huge way and bought and put in tremendous amounts of reservations for the co-op contacts. And as a result, that's what enabled us to really, Trivita as a company, to really ramp up the media buy. And, you've heard all the benefits that we all received because of what took place back in October. So really, really appreciative of Ted Lamb, Cody, and their group for stepping up and doing this, because it had a huge impact for all of us. Michael Ellison has talked many times about the halo effect, about how powerful it is and the effect that we all have and the benefit we all get when Trivita is on television. But we had no idea just how significant the impact really was until we saw what happened this past October, especially after we've been out of the media for the past 3 years. Now we're back in the media and we're seeing things just starting to climb every single month. So here's my final, closing statements and call to action. Again, as Donita mentioned at the early part of this call, the month of January is the single best month of the year for media. And we need massive TV exposure. We need frequent airings of the TV program, which will set the stage for February, March, and April campaigns that Trivita already has lined out to drive our businesses forward. But January is going to be what sets the stage. So here's what I'm asking. If you're currently buying one media contact to qualify for commissions, would you consider doubling down by going into your back office? And Donita already talked about how you can do this, and doubling down by putting in two reservations for the month of January. And if you can do more, that would be even better. Now, I'm not asking anybody to do anything that Tammy and I are not doing ourselves. In fact, we will do much more than two. Having said that, I also recognize the fact that our Trivita business affords us the opportunity to do this, and we're grateful for that, and we're grateful to all of you. But if we really come together and come out of the gate strong in January, it's going to set the stage for an amazing 2018. And it's going to keep getting better and better. And we haven't even talked about some of the other things that are in the works right now as we get through the first quarter of 2018 and even the second half. You'll be blown away. So again, I just want to thank everybody for being on the call tonight. I want to thank you, Barry, Garth, Tom, Donita. It's been a pleasure sharing the mic with all of you this evening on the webinar. And if I don't get a chance to talk to many of you, I want to wish you all the best this holiday season, a Merry Christmas, and get ready for a very, very happy New Year in 2018. Garth, I'll hand it back to you.
Thanks, Brian. Well, I echo those as well. We're not asking anyone to do anything that we aren't personally going to be doing. So doubling down, the accelerator business act. The cool thing about all of this, everybody, is this is not just like, oh, this is coming, there's a launch date coming. This is like now. This is like yesterday. This is all available right as we speak. Go to your back office, phone your upline or your ITBOs, get going on this, have them listen to this recording, which will get out shortly, so that those that weren't able to make it can get caught up in all of this. But I'm excited. I'm finally excited to be able to build my business using all of this. So we have our action plans, and I think that's the key thing to me is, what are your action plans on this? And that's probably the biggest questions, making a decision and then moving forward in that. And don't delay. There's no reasons to delay on all of this, because it's happening now. So before I turn the call over to Barry, I need to throw this into somewhere. This may seem like an odd thing to throw in, but it's kind of a cool development for you back office geeks and monitoring. Trivita's been working on a way to help us manage our businesses. One of the big requests, and we hear it all the time on the Advisory Council, is, how do I know where my key leaders are qualifying at any given moment? And we've not been able to tell that until now. So again, you can call TPS and get details on that. But under the QC column on your group list, you can see there's a list of rankings, and those rankings are active and fresh as of today, as of that moment. So you can see exactly where they qualified the month before and where they are currently in the month. So I just wanted to thank the team. There's a lot of people working for us and for the company behind the scenes that never get named, that never get appreciated, but this is a big one to appreciate them on all that work. So thank you very much, Trivita. So Barry, I'm going to give you the last word and close us off, and let's go build business.
Well, very, very exciting call. Thank you all for your participation. I'm going to wrap it up with 2 minutes. I want to give you 2 key principles to add to everything that you've heard from all the speakers tonight. The first one is the customer rules. Make the customer the hero of your story. Follow up. The more you follow up, the better off you're going to be. Dr. Phil said, develop a relationship with a person and he will or she will follow you anywhere. And so follow-up is very important for the development of a business. The more follow-up you do, probably the more successful you will be. The second principle I want to give with you, and give you a couple of illustrations, what I have done here, I call it listening for success. King Solomon, the wisest and richest man in the world, said, give me the gift of a listening heart. That's pretty good advice. And then Aristotle said, wisdom is the reward you get for a lifetime of listening when you would rather have been talking. I guess that's why God gave us 2 ears in one mouth. Let me give you 2 quick stories how I use this listening. Number 1, I had a friend of mine call me not too long ago, and he said, telling me on his wife. Well, I listened. And his wife is in bed 16 hours a day due to hip and knee problems. I suggested I'm going to send him a book. Send him the book. I followed it up. He said, I'm skeptical. I said, well, that's fine. Why don't you try it? Well, about 2 weeks ago, he phoned me and he said, Barry, you are not going to believe the improvement in my wife. She is now only in bed 8 hours a day in 16, and they have reordered the product. One other idea to follow up what Tom does, what I do when I talk to a person about the product, give them the book, tell them the story and so forth, and here's an exact story. We had some friends over and I shared the story. She had some knee problems. She says, I want the product right now. Now here's what I do. I give them 2 products right away, not just one. I give them 2. Then I tell them to order the product. That way they get registered and have the product shipped to me. So it doesn't cost me any money. So let me say that again. that what I did was I gave her 2. That's what she's going to get when she orders the product. She becomes a member, maybe an ITBO down the road, but the product is shipped back to me. So like Tom, it doesn't cost me anything. And in this way, they get the catalog, which exposes all the other products. So I hope that is a bit of a help to you in the 2 principles and how you can build your business. So again, thank you all for listening. I know we went a little bit longer than normal. Like Brian, I wish you all the best for the holiday season. Merry Christmas. We're going to have a great new year. Thank you to Michael Marcus for all your support and your very generous offer for all of this. So thank you all for listening. The recording will be out. Get it out to as many people as possible. And let's have a phenomenal 2018. Good night and God.